down could be a huge problem for FaZe. We'll have teleport in this game, but only get one of those. The Trundle can help deter dive, but isn't necessarily great at it. Instead, we're looking at pulling a bit of a Peter here and dropping the Rakan.
I don't know whether I like this that much, though, because they can still go for a Talia in theory. And so Rakan really struggles into all of those rocks, and it's even more keep away, right? Like, you have the seismic shove to just say, get out of my face. I don't want to deal with this.
I agree with you. I think this is a pretty risky choice. And there isn't really a pick in this draft that makes me feel like it's going to fix it. Even if you go Xayah here, you're so low range into all of this poke. So is the Cassiopeia. Shen left available because they banned the Alistar, they banned the Anivia. I'm just surprised that Keria gets his hands on this after everything that's happened.
Does feel like something that probably shouldn't have been up and available.
What if Faker just plays this here? I'm serious. Like, he
did do it recently, right?
Yeah, it's a good pick here. It also helps further keep away. He might just pick the Talia that you're expecting, but I think the Azir kind of works here. Helps the Trundle for setup. Strong mid jungle.
Give me the Xerath. That's what I want. Instead, it's the Victor. Victor feels, you know, a little bit more standard.
It's consistent damage, though. That was the one thing I think this draft was missing.
Akali where?
I'd rather not see an Akali in this game.
Wait, is it Cassio into Ziggs? This was a counter pick. Oh my God.
Atlas.
Showmaker on the Akali, and we've got Smash on the Cassio.
Okay, well, this is a matchup-specific pick. Mages in the bottom lane do well against other mages in the bottom lane.
Right, but it is certainly a whole lot of fun. I believe it was Viper that played the Cassio in the bottom lane first. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, here we are, ready for game number 3 of this series between T1 and DPLUS here at the T1 home ground. The KSPO arena dome is extraordinarily full.
There's an arena inside the dome, it's fine.
All right, yeah, I guess you can call it arena. Maybe it's just like, you know, it's a simple...
The dome is the shell for the arena, you know?
Yeah.
You think of it that way.
Just like a UI is just a dome, and even if it's different, it's still the same. All right, Xiu and Doran. This is a fun matchup. I actually quite like this one. I know that Cassante used to be one of those grown type champions, but I feel like you do have a lot of play potential as Smash. So try and get some more of these Noxious Blasts down.
The one thing about this matchup that I really like for Cassiopeia versus the Ziggs is we don't really like the Akali at level 1, and most matchups, I'm enjoying that a little bit less, is that the Cassiopeia actually has consistent damage output, whereas the Ziggs does not. And especially once Smash gets level 2, it's going to be really annoying for FaZe because he's got his Q and that's all he's got. So he'll have to be really careful in this lane matchup, otherwise you could just get hard pushed in. And it can be very annoying to play if you are FaZe. Notice Smash did not go teleport because he knows he's actually the one who has the pressure in this lane. He went for the more combat-oriented ghost in this.
Oh, Keria! That's an incredible satchel there from FaZe. Just threw them all over the place. Not actually going to necessarily do too much as far as winning the trade, but looked really cool.
I mean, it did get him a lot of damage onto Smash, and it's really hard to actually win trades, but double taunt into double satchel is a combo I hadn't really considered all too much, but it is going to work out in this case.
And the thing that I do want to talk about is the mid jungle here, because I feel like Faker and Oner definitely have a lot more synergy, right? With the gravity field and the pillar.
Yes.
Like, just sort of working so well together to try and guarantee these stuns from the Victor. And
Lucid
on the other side, Lucid,
they have
damage. Yeah, it's just damage.
Usually, CC is the more interesting part. Sometimes you have one champion in the mid lane that does a lot of damage, and then the jungler does a lot of CC, and that works out well. But double CC can also work well because people just can't play the game then when you do that to them. But double damage often does not work out because the CC kind of comes into play. It stops you from doing it. But it's not a free setup with Pillar and Gravity Field or anything like that. It's very strong, but it's not Ari-Vi levels of damage and CC layered together. The Talia would have definitely been a lot stronger in that regard, but see how Faker plays this lane. Obviously generating a decent lead, but not enough to get anything on the Showmaker. So Lucid's just going to be annoying down here. Now, they did not opt for a Varus lane or anything like that, so not going to see an early Naafiri dive, but it is stopping backs right now, which is a pretty successful play. FaZe will finish his back and TP back in.
Yeah, going to be able to grab some items here as well. Double Amp Tome, just to make sure that he's got as much damage for the wave as he possibly can have. And Smash will be able to push this wave in. But you can see, like, FaZe is doing really, really well in this lane right now as Oner making his way down. Keria not going to get interrupted or anything with a pillar. And Keria is a little bit low, but they are looking to just get the shove with this Trundle being in the area.
Now, if FaZe loses out again, now he doesn't have that TP.
Background entrance was so weird. Actually caught FaZe in his satchel, does have to flash to get out of the play, and he just teleported back.
Yeah, exactly. Now he doesn't have it, and I was setting up for that because Career with a flash available is threatening that, right? He's constantly thinking, if I can set this up, Smash is going to do so much damage, even without his Ghost available on the chase. Smash knows that all Career needs to do is to hit one knock-up, and FaZe is going to be out of the lane. FaZe thought he could outplay it with the satchel there. Now finds himself down flash and down TP. We'll be able to hold this wave here. Keria is going to be the one who backs first, but a very, very scary moment there. If he had lost that wave, it would have created such a ripple effect. His Oner would have had to stay down there, would have affected his clear, and as a result, it is still a big win, but luckily for FaZe, he gets out and gets... We normally see the sad triple longsword or someone has triple dagger in the bottom lane. Triple amp tome is a new one.
Well, Showmaker is going to find another ninja in his lane. Does kind of prefer it to be only one ninja in the lane. That's how it works, in League of Legends at least. They are a lone warrior. I wonder if that passive is actually back in LoL Classic.
Lone warrior?
No, like the fact that like ninjas can only be like one per team, otherwise you lose 1 HP.
Oh, I have no idea.
It might be back. It
would
would be very cute if it was. She was also playing the Aftershock version of the Cassante into a Trundle. That is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I would have just preferred to see another grasp here.
Well, Oner will have the ability to be basically immortal if he ever presses that button onto this Cassante. But that is, you know, a story for another time.
So he is building armor first here into this Jace, which he has to. But after this first item completes, he will start building MR because he's playing against a Victor and a Ziggs. And then he's going to be, if the ultimate is not there from Oner, nobody's going to be killing him or hurting him ever. So it's a good thing that they have that button. It will be very helpful.
Oh, yeah. Lucid going to move down towards his bottom side. Oner clearing out a control ward on his blue buff, but Lucid does have access to this area right now. Level advantage as well on the Naafiri as Keria going to rotate up. Keria going to be following.
All right. Keria has hit some really big knockups already this game. FaZe is flashless. Trying to force a 3v3 here is fairly risky.
Yeah, they are just going to give this up, though. Respecting the power of the level 6 from this Naafiri. So T1 going to be playing back. The gold lead that they did have had got up to about 400, 500, something like that, but is now shrinking once more. But I just don't... I'm not sure whether I trust DPLUS's composition as we get further into this game. They need to show that they can force fights anytime they want. Because otherwise, I think T1 just win.
Exactly. It's very scary when this Victor becomes online. And if you can't crack, it also depends on what dragons we end up getting and stuff like that, but if you can't burst Faker, he actually is that consistent damage output, even into a Cassante building MR later on in this game. So I think the scaling, in a weird way, favors T1, probably. We'll have to see how the game state goes. His career will get a backstop here.
Oh, that's actually so annoying. Should guarantee the Drake here as well, although I think that T1 had already decided not to fight for it. Faker laning very aggressively into Showmaker. Continuing to do so.
I think they might even be able to get another backstop here.
Oh, Pei's going to get interrupted once again. The Miasma is down. Smash is going to yell at him. And Pei's going to survive here. But still a lot of damage to come out from this Snake.
I mean, I think Lucid just kills. Pei's, he doesn't have any buttons. He doesn't have flash.
Yeah, Satchel, when is it going to be back up and available? There it is. As Keria does get this wave knocked up, they are looking to try and shove this as fast as they can. Grubs are being taken. They've lost their blue buff. This is a big investment as the teleport comes out from Faker. And he's just going to turtle his way down here and sacrifice his lane just a little.
Yeah, we always wondered what D stood for in D+, but it's going back to that discipline from game number 2. He's not going to force the play, get the TP out of Faker. Luz just goes right back to his jungle. Some of his camps, I think just the blue buff actually, was taken away by Oner while they were doing that dragon. That's the cross map that he did get, but I thought for sure that they were going to go for that dive a little bit faster, and then, you know, the TP from Faker might have tried to salvage it, but ultimately that didn't end up happening. It looks like this recon tech, by the way, from Keria, it's like he's been practicing this matchup. He actually understands how to interrupt Satchel, and we've never seen someone try to punish the Ziggs this way here in the LCK just yet, so he came prepared. We weren't 100% on board with the recon at first, but watching how he's playing it with the winning Cassiopeia lane, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's certainly working. And it pairs with the miasma quite nicely there as well. You can sort of guarantee it if Smash is ever able to get that in line. But Flash now down for the Cassio is going to make this somewhat dangerous, and they haven't been able to get too many plates from this turret yet. That's why T1 still has that 400 gold lead we were talking about before. Showmaker also not really being able to put a dent into mid lane just yet, although now that he has hit level 8, is feeling a lot more comfortable.
Just going to clear this wave and then leave. Faker going to make sure that's the case, dropping this ultimate on top of him.
Oh, that's not great.
The lane here in the bottom side is pretty abysmal for FaZe, right? We don't have the gold up right now because the UI is kind of bugged at the moment, but you can tell he's down a wave. He's lost a lot of plates. Like, Cassiopeia is very online, and it's going to have Rod started here pretty soon. And so I'm wondering what this mid game is going to look like here for T1, because they have a really strong set of bursty opposition in this game when we come into these next few fights, like this next Dragon, for example, Herald, Grubs, which are up right now, which is rare.
Oh, Smash thought he was going to keep walking, but really good heads-up play there from FaZe to make sure that he does not face check a scary snake. Walking into bushes when there could be snakes is something that Australians often learn,
very familiar.
But I didn't expect, you know, Koreans to learn it as much. There are some snakes here, but they're not quite the same.
This is a very difficult fight for T1 to take without the subjugate value here from Oner. So the timing of when he uses it and when T1 fight with it is going to be of paramount importance here. They're going to clear all this vision. D+ have just been avoiding so many fights this series, and it looks like this might be another one of those. They weren't set up for it. They sent Lucid home, and he's actually going to the bottom side of the map. Maybe their angle here is going to be to try to dive FaZe, but FaZe has flash and teleport back up. So ultimately, actually, nobody fights for the Grubs. Oner also leaves, even though they have topside prio, and just kind of wait for the next fight. It says small gold lead here for T1 right now, about 800 across the board. A lot of that is in these solo lanes, right, where you see the advantage for the Jace. You know, he has a similar advantage to the Cassiopeia. So, man, Keria just doesn't miss these.
Yeah, he's just, he's going in. I mean, Showmaker didn't really need him to. He was just happily farming things up, as now Shiu looking for an angle towards Doran. Uses that window with the Aftershock there, but Doran is able to dive in on top and win out on the trade.
Now he doesn't have his ult, and Keria is kind of interested, as they even committed the Ziggs up here. This is going to commit for the Satchel turret destruction here, as FaZe will just wipe this out with a short fuse.
Yeah.
2 Grubs they picked up earlier on.
And this is going to be about 1,000 gold in the lead as well, maybe even more. Probably a 1.5k advantage for T1. So not exactly the best of plays here for D+. As, yeah, FaZe even destroys the whole wave.
The problem is that D+ avoided that fight, but I think there's a fight they really wanted to take, but they didn't like the angle on it. But you can't play this comp like that. You know, it's not like the Game 2 composition where you have Aatrox that can just walk on top of the enemy AD carry. They're going to keep you at arm's length. They have so much range, and they have zoning now with this Victor in the draft, as well as the Trundle you mentioned earlier on. So if you just say, well, I don't like that a few more times, then the Akali is just going to be irrelevant in this game, and you're going to be building MR to try to survive and elongate a game that isn't favoring you the longer it goes. So you're going to need to find something somewhere.
Well, Doran is also not going to get yelled at. Does take a bit of damage, but not really too much more. So that is 0 for 2 on Smash's Petrifying Gazes.
Unfortunate for him. 2 attempts, 2 fails. And T1,
up and available.
I mean, they're starting to really run away with this game. The D+, they are at their strongest in the mid game, but the Akali hasn't been accelerated. I mean, it's a late first blood in this game, just period, which favors T1. as Oner is just not even afraid of this Cassante right now. It will be an Akali coming over to push him out of the jungle, but that's kind of what they wanted.
Yeah, and it should be the Drake going on over to DPLUS Keria. Oner not looking like he's very interested in going for that one. They see it with that ward that is down. And it's a Mountain Soul. My God, Oner's value if it is going to be DK the stack and Drakes.
I feel like this is just, it's a win for T1 either way. You know, they become tankier and more difficult to kill if they get the soul and they stack it up. And for D+, it's not even a big benefit is Doran.
Yeah, Lucid looking to chase after him. There is the quickness. The knock-up is there as well, but Keria makes his way in with the Stands United. Keep Doran alive and holds on to his flash.
And Xiu is just getting collapsed on here. We're going to see that subjugate now.
Yeah, he does just Pathmaker and Flash to get himself out of the way. And there's that subjugate that you were talking about. And this first blood lasted a long time.
Yeah.
And this is definitely going to be our longest.
That was since round 2.
Oh, Flash out there from Oner. Didn't want to be all outed.
Even the stun going to go over there from Faker. So T1 win on both sides of the map. They're able to escape with Doran there and get Keria there for the defense and deny that turret while also pushing Xiu in here, and more plate gold is going over to Faker. And this gold lead here for T1 stayed about, 1,500 or so. This game hasn't changed that much, but that's right where they want to be. That first blood stat is right where they want to be.
And it's weird because it's feeling to me like D+ are playing as if they're very happy to go late into T1 with this composition. I think it could work.
If the Akali is relevant, I agree. I think it could work. Could be a very strong situation for them where, it's an even game state and we're 6 and 6 kills right now, but a lot of that money is onto this Akali and Smash is scaling. Maybe he didn't get a big lead, but he's Cassiopeia. He's going to have more damage throughput than a lot of these other champions on the side of T1. But I think when the Victor is building the way that Faker is, right? He's got Rod of Ages here, which is rare. We don't always see this, actually, on Victor in this meta. It's exactly the right choice because T1 know eventually Showmaker's not going to be able to kill a whole lot of anybody in this game.
Well, looks like T1 are looking to kill a whole lot of Xiu in this bottom lane. See whether Keria can show up in time. This turret is not going to die before they have to kill Xiu, though, so let's see whether he can use it. Pathmaker does come on through. Finds the Q there as well. Goes all out onto Keria as he brings him back onto the turret. And a potential angle here as Showmaker is found. Pays. Satchel looking to get himself out as there is the flash in. And it looks like First Blood's going down at 15:37. And it's Pays that falls. And it might be Second Blood soon to follow as D+ look to wipe them out. The petrifying gaze is so scary in this massive stadium. As Faker is now in an awkward spot. Keria finds another grand entrance. It's a triple kill. And Wolf, you were saying, is this Akali going to get fed? The answer is hell yes! Quadra kill for Showmaker! This is the exact nightmare scenario T1 were trying to avoid, but they set it up themselves. They look for a play onto the Cassante under turret, and Xiu turns it around on them. They give up so much map control to try to kill a Cassante, and we all knew, Pays knew he was there trying to intercept, that D+ was going to be collapsing on the plate because they've been fishing for a fight this entire game, but they've never been able to find one that they liked. But when T1 were the ones to make the first move, D+ were all over that. So Pays here trying to collapse in and add some extra damage. Smash and Showmaker were here to intercept. They kill him as that play is happening bottom side, where it's turned around by Xiu. And now all 5 members of T1 are down here, and they're just trapped. That turret is not enough into this much burst damage. And suddenly, D+ Keria are exactly where this composition needs to be. Doran tried to teleport away!
And Keria does not miss those today. It's a quadra. And I think T1 fans ever are hoping that UI is not going to come up with a number, because that number in the mid lane lead is going to be massive.
Yep, CV Max, you can see, not celebrating too hard, but is incredibly happy about that particular moment. I could still see the stress in his eyes, though. It is not over yet. 50 seconds on the clock until Soul Point, though, for D+. That could be a huge deal. But, man, I mean, it went from 0 First Blood to ace.
Yeah, a full ace.
Yeah, that is just, that's not what I was expecting. My bingo card didn't have that option.
A clean ace at like 15 and a half minutes into the game. Maybe even just around 16. Either way.
It was 15 and 37 seconds, Wolf.
Okay.
I was looking at the clock at the moment.
Well,
I've got the stat for the stats team.
There you go. I think this next fight over Dragon is one that DPLUS was dreading moments before. Where they're like, oh, I just don't think we're ahead enough to take it. And now they are super ready. Like, oh yeah, Double Dragon. Oh, was our plan all along? You know, wait for this Soul Point fight. And Keria has his ultimate available. Does not have Flash, but it's coming up pretty soon. If he can actually get a Flash ult here, the fight becomes so much simpler. Shiu is in the side lane right now with TP. Doran doesn't have a TP. So they're even winning elsewhere on the map while they're setting up for this fight as Doran is catching waves. And it just doesn't look like T1 are going to be able to find their way into this one. The Victor is just not scaled up just yet. And it's trying to force their way in.
And it's so difficult as well because T1 really want to control the battlefield and get that poke down first, right? DPLUS, they still need to be able to turn on a dime. They need to start these fights immediately before the Ziggs and the Jace just kind of kill them. But Shiu is just hanging out.
Yeah, he's just he's like, we don't even need this dragon. Well, we have so much control we could do this.
He's going to be able to push Faker out of his gravity well. Goes all out. He's dancing around the gravity field. That's crazy. But the Arcane Storm still comes in. Can Shiu actually make this one work, though? The answer is looking like a no. As a Mega Inferno Bomb, not quite going to be able to take him down. He gets a big shield. He's buying so much time until he's dead. Faker is going to be able to put him down in the end.
They get a dragon on the cross map, of course. I mean, this was the plan originally, but DPLUS do it pretty slowly because they wanted to make sure they control that space. I think the initial idea with the Cassante was great because it's like, okay, well, I'm going to get this whole turret and we're going to get the dragon. T1 don't really have any agency here. Faker rotates up, and I think he just really underestimated the damage. He doesn't really have any MR yet.
I still think it's probably fine for DPLUS, though. I think Soul Point is so strong for this composition.
I agree, but I also think that they could have just
he could have just not died.
Not all outed Faker and could have just been like, well, my objective was get the turret, but I don't have to, as Doran is now going to be TP'd on by a Fed Akali who has Rocket Belt.
He just got his flashback, and yeah, he's going to be able to teleport out because Akali does not have any hard CC.
He also just got his TP back, and now doesn't have it anymore.
That's going to be a dead turret. Yeah, that is a full turret to go down. Smash getting a little bit of money back here. So we can see there are bounties across the board.
So Shiu, we look at the control of the Dragon Pit they still have. He doesn't actually have to all-in Faker here. He could just let the minions do the work, and maybe, I guess the idea is if he pulls Keria, then they like 100% get the dragon without Keria being there, but I just don't think this was necessary. He also flashed the ult, but then still die. This was nice a kill from Smash, or sorry, from Pays, I suppose.
Yeah, gets out of the Mega Inferno Bomb and keeps Pays on 0-1-0. And I guess there is a positive to be made from that one. Also, I think made sure that the minions took an extra bit of damage out of that outer turret by wasting some time. I don't know whether the flash was all that necessary, but he's a Cassante. Maybe he just doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he cares that much, but we'll see if it ends up being a defining point in this game.
Dash I'm
being a little bit picky about the whole situation about, he didn't have to do that, but it means that T1 gets something back, right? The gold lead is tiny. It's 900 here. Obviously, a lot of the money on the Akali, which is exactly where you want it to be because the Cassiopeia is scaling. This is where I was talking earlier about the question you asked was like, do DPLUS kind of scale? Are they comfortable with this? Well, with the Fed Akali, I think the answer is yes, but they still want to keep putting that pressure on over and over and over again. This next dragon is where they want to basically end this game.
They're bullying poor Shiu.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
Yeah, he's going to be able to pull Faker away, though. Let's see whether this is actually going to work, because Oner is down here, and it's just so hard to be this Cassante when an Oner can take away all of your stuff. Like, your stats just disappear.
Yeah, and even though he is building some of that MR now to get his Jack shows, it just doesn't show up when he presses R on you. This is a situation where if he had Flash, he might have been able to live there. But at the end of the day, it's just a good play from T1 who, again, keep this gold very even.
Yeah, 700 gold.
Exactly.
And this was with like a 15-minute ace. That's the crazy part. DPLUS should be feeling very strong right now, but T1 just keeping it together, playing it slow. And yeah, as soon as Subjugate gets pressed, like, look, he's made of paper. I know when you go all out, you do lose a bunch of your stats, but
this does mean that they can get the top turret. Look at where Doran is on the minimap right now. He's like, yep, I'm not going to let them cross-map this. They're not going to cross-map me. They will cross-map the turret. They're still looking for it, by the way. DPLUS here on the top side. Still trying to make something happen. Because they know that, they need to keep... They have the tempo and they're exactly where they want to be, but where they want to be is killing the champions over and over and over again. So they got to find those. They got to kill those. And maybe
getting
him for a Baron?
Getting a Mountain Soul will also be a huge deal for DPLUS if they can actually get there. That extra shield, I think, will really help into the poke. Not the same as an Ocean Soul, but still does do a similar job.
Yeah, notice that Pays did just use his ultimate there because he thought there was a chance that DPLUS were, in fact, on that Baron. He used his ult to check, so doesn't have it. I don't know if you guys caught that on the minimap, but
it's actually really smart. It's Cassio. She does a lot of Baron damage.
They were on the same page as me. They're like, they're trying to kill us, but they might also be killing the Baron. We don't have enough vision to know. So it was a nice check there. DPLUS were not taking that risk because they're kind of risk averse this series, which I think is a good idea. But this comp does again need to got to have your foot on the gas.
Well, Keria going to take a lot of damage there as the daggers do fly forward, and we have a minute on this dragon. And fighting for dragon vision is where DPLUS are. They need a lot of that if they want to make sure that they can get out of the way of the poke.
Showmaker doesn't have prio in the bottom lane, so getting access to the fight is going to be a little bit tricky for him. It's still 40 seconds to go, and so they're doing the Shiu strategy again. They're like, maybe Faker will go up and answer him, and then we'll just do the whole dance again.
Or maybe Oner will go up there because the subjugate value is so high, and then they won't have a smite in the Dragon Pit. That could be another option.
I mean, he's just working on this, and they also left the Akali to the side lane as well, so Showmaker should be able to get prio.
Oh, this is just another 1-3-1 comp, I guess, Wolf.
Yeah, it's the Cassante 1-3-1.
Aha. Look, what that another thing, like my bingo card's useless, man. Like, what does it even have on it? Oh, man. All right, well, DPLUS going to look to try and defend as T1 have a lot of people in mid, and Shiu is just ignoring it completely.
DPLUS are like, you guys are too early for the dragon. I'm calling you out for it. As they're going to get that whole topside turret, and he can still TP in. Yeah. There's the turret, and there's the TP.
Well, he is going to move on down now. As Smash looking to push Keria out of here. Shiu has teleported forward. Look at that big old shield that he's got from his quest completion. Lucid gets into the Dragon Pit. That one is fully reset. Showmaker is spotted as the Blast Cone gets rid of him, but T1 are routed. They are pushed away from this river.
Keria's on a flank. He's actually just going to back and ult in. They have to force something.
Yeah, it gets on top of Pays. Keria not going to be able to go for an engage, though, as Smash gets put in the kennel. Shiu just taking a lot of damage here, and this is the poke that we were talking about. Miasma comes in, Doran taking a lot of damage off to the side, and now Keria, oh my god, Keria, you monster! Doran dies immediately, Pays follows suit, Vega pushed away, and DPLUS, they turn on a dime, and T1 couldn't even blink. They're just dead.
Harir says, I don't need a health bar to make this happen. What a play from the Rakan.
Okay, Wolf, I've got it figured out. It's not T1 Homegrounds giving Keria POMs. It's just support POM.
I guess so. Buzz Oner is just trying to hold waves here. They are in tatters. I think Keria might have just won the game. What a play after so many good knockups in the early game. He gets chunked, and he says, I'm still going in. Speaking of still going in, Showmaker was trying to continue to go in, but he does decide to stop that now and let Oner be the lone survivor here for T1. This time it's not a second ace, but wouldn't it be crazy if it were just two team fights and two aces?
Look at this, man.
Look at this. He is so low health. They're all so stacked up, though. Look at this. All vision as well. And then the follow-up from Smash is instantaneous, and it's just the wombo combo.
And Faker knew he had the gravity field down, but Keria went for the flash play to make sure that he guaranteed it. That was absolutely insane.
One of the craziest Rakan plays we've ever seen. At 0 health, he does it. Crazy. And DPLUS have pulled the trigger twice this game. And it's 5 kills and 4, the 2 they get from said plays. And that's enough to get Mountain Soul. And yes, you got the Subjugate, but you only get it on one target. And now even this Cassiopeia, who's very tanky, is a huge threat that you can't necessarily cut through very quickly. The Ziggs bomb and burst is going to hit shields. So that's a problem.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, that first salvo of poke is going to come in. DPLUS are not going to notice. And then they'll just either back away or go for that hard commit like we saw earlier. Keria, man.
Look at these Dark
What
Skill
an
stacks.
Unbelievable performance. And yeah, you're exactly right. That is 10 and 8.
There's 2 Magi possibilities here for DPLUS if they want another fight, but they just start to balloon even further into the lead.
Oh, Doran not going to quite find that Shock Blast. And I still feel like T1's composition has a lot to offer, right? Like, if they are able to stabilize this game at all, I mean, the gold lead is not gigantic, and they have one of these comps where the win conditions are so different to that of DK, and if they are able to play out these fights the way they want to, it will look very different. The problem is, DK have been able to play the way they want. As there's the ult from Lucid going in onto Oner. He tries to interrupt and does manage to do so, but is still going to get pushed out of his jungle.
If they kill Oner there, they get the Baron and they open up the base, but he is able to survive. And
I mean, they're still going to send him back. Like, maybe they still get this anyway.
Yeah, maybe you're right. As Doran, he does have TP, he's going to have to join. Showmaker looks for the all-in.
Seeing whether he can just kill Faker here as the Arcane Storm goes down. Showmaker just going to dash away, though. Sees the teleport coming in. And Keria's playing defense. Doran dives on top of Showmaker, and they're off the Baron. Lucid gets over to try and keep them away from his mid laner. And now Shiu, the brick wall, making his way in. Pathmaker comes on down, and there's the all-out. Gets on top of Keria to remove him from the fight, and T1's health bars are getting flattened once again. Faker in the back of the red pit. He'll be taken out. Both solo laners down. Keria survives, but Oner may not be so lucky, and Shiu is getting his revenge as he takes out the troll. And there's another ulti from Lucid to finish them off. DPLUS, man, they are thriving once again when the crowd is against them.
It's been over 2 years since T1 have lost a home ground. And when they lost the telecom war, his career will lose his life.
Yeah, it's going to be taken down. Pace still does a lot of damage, buddy.
The base is open, and I think it's just not going to matter. Pace trying to
the flashing from Showmaker, and he's going to put him down. Does not care about the minefield. He'll take out the Nexus turrets as well. And DPLUS Key, after getting flattened in game one, just say no. And T1's winning streak at their home grounds will be stopped here and now.
Look at Keria, he's getting hyped.